Going on, guys? Ushanka here, and I'm going to bring you a quick video today. I'm going to be talking about Bernie Sanders here, and according to the title here, Lazy Bernie. All right. Now, in recent, you know, rallies and stuff that he's been doing for his candidacy for presidency of the United States, Bernie Sanders has been pretty much staying in the game, won't leave. He's lost all his primary states to, majority of them, to Joe Biden. It's because, a lot of the people they know, Democrats too, know that he's a socialist, he's a communist. He is what he is, okay? And you can look it up all for yourself about that stuff. Now, with that being said, why I'm calling Lazy Bernie? Well, Bernie Sanders is essentially, and this is my opinion of what that this whole presidential debate, this whole thing that he's been doing since 2016 up until now, when trying to run for president, I feel, in my opinion, he's just doing this to get a paycheck, honestly. Bernie Sanders, back in 1971, was kicked out of a hippie commune because he was too lazy. A hippie commune, okay? He went there to go, and it was essentially like a farming commune where they did a lot of farming, they did a lot of, backbreaking work. And he was basically kicked out for talking too much politics and not doing enough hard labor with the other men who are contributing to the commune. So that's got to say something right there. I mean, the guy's never had a job before other than politics. He went to college, right out of college, he got a gig in politics. And he's been in politics ever since. Now, whatever he's been able to hold and speeches and things that he's done as a senator, as a mayor, as whatever political power he has held, it's just been enough to just keep him in there. It's been enough to just keep him getting a paycheck, a steady paycheck. He listens to the people close to him brainstorming about policies and stuff like that. And really, he's just there making speeches, he's doing some things, but in reality, he's never really accomplished anything other than getting like 2 post offices named after him in his hometown. So it's like, I have a feeling that Bernie is just honestly doing this whole campaign run. He knows that he's going to lose. He knows that no one is ready to accept socialism, democratic socialism, communism, whatever. It's all the same to me. He knows that people aren't ready for that type of politics, policies, that system for government in our country, the United States. He knows that. And I have this feeling that he is just putting on this whole show just to make a paycheck, just to get a large sum of money. I mean, he owns 3 houses. He's been seen driving around in a really expensive car. I have a feeling that this whole thing, he knows he's going to lose. He knows whatever he's doing is what no Democrat wants, what majority of people don't want. Because why else is Biden, taking off? Why else is Biden taking all these states? When you see the state of Joe Biden, which I don't like either, but I do feel a sense of sorrow for him, because if I feel like it's just elder abuse to where the people he's listening to, Biden, they're just keeping him up there as a platform, and they want him there so that way, if he was to get elected into office, of course, people are going to be behind him, his delegates, his people, his cabinet are just going to be thinking and talking and making all the decisions for Biden and giving that to him, and he's just going to go on stage and say it. So why are people voting for him as opposed to Bernie Sanders, who obviously has a lot more fire, a lot more ferocity when it comes to filling out auditoriums, filling out crowds of places to where he's having speeches at. You know, he's definitely got more than Biden. So, you know, other than numbers speaking, you know, Sanders should be winning all these states, right? But I feel like, or Bernie should be winning all these states. But I have this huge feeling that Bernie is just doing this just to get a large sum of money. All these campaign donations. He sees, in the majority of people who are voting for him are a lot of young people, a lot of people who are in colleges. And when you think about what he says on these stages, these debate stages, where free health care and eliminating the college tuition and the college debt for all the students, that's a lot of people across the country who go to these colleges and who spend thousands and thousands of dollars and put themselves into debt to eventually, when they get out, they can't even find work. They can't even find a job for their gender study major, whatever. You know, not saying that college in general and going to college is a bad thing, but about 95% of the time you go to these colleges, most of the time the professors are just spewing liberal communist propaganda. Everybody to the right of them is bad and greedy and horrible people. So Bernie knows that these college kids are already being taught to be radicals. You can go on YouTube and see how all these college kids act whenever they come up next to a Trump supporter, if somebody's just asking them questions about Trump or anything Republican-wise. They lose their minds. They get crazy. They get nuts. And so Bernie, I feel, takes that look, those people, riles them up, gets him into their pocket to where they're like, you know what, I like this guy because he's going to eliminate my problems for me. You know, he's going to take already a group of lazy people, because he's lazy himself, drag them into a campaign for him, rally the troops, and in reality, majority of the people don't want that, but he has that. Bernie has that ability to rile the people who believe in him, and he wants to offer this free stuff for these people who are just as lazy as him, and he knows that they're going to dig deep into their pockets and they're going to give money to him, along with book deals and other things like that, because when this whole debate is over, which I have a feeling it's obviously going to be Biden against Trump, when Bernie loses, he's going to lose. But he's not going to lose so bad, because you know what? He's going to walk away with millions of dollars in donations. He's going to walk away with money. And then at the end of it all, he'll probably have another book deal, like when Hillary Clinton lost. She wrote a book, What Happened, with the whole debate between Trump and herself. You know, I have a feeling there's going to be another book deal, and that's going to be more money for lazy Bernie, because just to come to think about it, I feel like he just wants a paycheck. That's it. The guy's never worked a day in his life outside of politics, and I have a feeling he knows he's going to lose. He knows he's putting on this whole grand show. He's no dummy. His policies and things that he's for sound dumb and are dumb, but he knows they're dumb, and he knows that they're not going to work, and he knows that the majority of people here in the United States don't want that. So in reality, he's just going to be, well, I'm going to go for it. If I get it, I guess. But come to think of it, I'll get more money. I'll get a bigger paycheck out of this if I lose or win or not. You know, it's like, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion on what I think, that I feel like Bernie Sanders is just, he's all in for this for money. That's it. And that's not saying like not a lot of other politicians are either, like Republicans and Democrats, but going off the track record of when Bernie Sanders, who gets kicked out of a hippie commune, and hippies being known for being lazy to begin with, got kicked out because he wasn't working hard enough for them, that's got to show you something. That's got to say something. that I have a feeling that Bernie just knows that this is it. He don't care. He's not a fighter. On the debate stage, he couldn't lash back at Joe Biden when asked about his mental health and his mental state. When you see it on camera of Joe Biden slurring his words, not finishing sentences, and just coming up with these stories that are false or never happened or just run off and don't make any sense, there's evidence of that. Why would anybody want that? Why is he even there for presidency? So when asked Bernie, what do you think about Joe Biden and his mental health state? He wouldn't comment on it. He didn't want to be mean or rude. He's not willing to take off the gloves, which any other Democratic candidate would gladly do, but he doesn't. He's not a fighter. He's not fighting for his position. If he was so hard for his campaign, he would be calling out Warren and Bloomberg and calling out Biden. He'd be fighting to get what he really wants. If he really wanted this presidency so bad, he would be fighting for it. But he's not calling anybody out. He's not taking the gloves off, even just for a little bit. So that's just, in my opinion, what goes to show that possibly I have a feeling that Bernie is trying to milk it for as long as he can, trying to get as much money as he can get through these donations, through book deals that eventually will come, I have a feeling will come, and just he's not in it for the win, because if he wanted to win, he'd be fighting, but he's not. So that's why, in my opinion, I feel like Bernie Sanders is just so damn lazy. He's just greedy and wants to take money and not have to work. All he's doing, he's going to these campaigns, he's drawing crowds, he's living on the road. That's his work. That's the time he's putting in. He's just getting on stage, promising all this stuff, staying in as long as he can, just so that way his supporters will stand by him, his donations will still be coming in. And when all this is done and over with, all his donations are going to be for him, and that's it. And he's going to walk away with more money. So the fact of the matter is, I mean, well, not really a fact, because this is just my opinion, but I have this feeling that, we may never know for sure if Bernie is just doing this just for money. But if you really look at it, if you look at the history of Bernie, you look at how he's fighting for this presidency, he's not doing a very good job at all. So it just goes to show you that if you just sort of cross-check and look at everything, I mean, tell me your thoughts, your opinions on this. If there's something that I'm missing here, or something that sounds like it doesn't make any sense, I mean, please tell me, because I'm thinking like this whole time, since the first time he lost to now when he's highly possibly going to lose again, I have a feeling that he's just doing this just to get a paycheck out of it, really. The socialist, communist, guy who praises Fidel Castro and honeymoon to the Soviet Union, I have a feeling that this guy's just in it for a paycheck, and that's it. And a lot of politicians are like that. But when you have this guy who is just trying to run for president and trying to push socialist ideologies in and has a huge following, you would think he'd be going for broke and trying to really nail this election. But I have a feeling deep down he knows that America's not ready for this. His followers are just as lazy and dumb as he was back in the day, and as he still is. And they're willing to donate to him because he's promising them a holy land full of free this and free that. And all the college students, all the unemployed, the weirdo wackos that support Bernie, they're just like him when he was their age. So he knows how to manipulate to get money, to stay into power, to where he doesn't have to do a damn thing and just be there and just collect the checks. That's it. So anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, dislike, whatever. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.